host, e.g. tapeworm that infects animals, including man. That is, the tapeworm lives in the system of the man, feeds on the man without contributing any positive thing to the man. It only affects the man negatively. When the parasite lives inside the host, they are also known as endoparasite. But if they live outside the body of the host, they are being referred to as ectoparasite, just like tick on the body of dogs. They are of economic importance to the farm because they can cause losses to the crops and animals. Examples of parasites are ticks, liver flukes, tapeworm, dodder and mistletoe, and lice. Then we're looking at pests, which is our second biotic factor. Pests are living organisms which inhibits the realization of the full potential of crops. That is, they reduces the potential of crops. The most common pests are insects, birds, and rodents. Examples of insect pests include weevils, termites, beetles. Weevils affect cereals, and then termites, we have beetles, we have caterpillar, we have grasshopper, locusts, and crickets. Insect pests like weevils, stem borers, and aphids bore holes in the leaves, stems, and fruits and seeds. They may suck the plant sap while on the field, or derive their food from the crops during storage. That is, it's either while the crops are on the field, they affect the crops while on the field, or while in storage. That is, while you are keeping them for further usage, for future usage, they can still affect the stored produce. These pests eventually lower the quality and quantity of plant produce. Pests include locusts, grasshopper, caterpillars, and leaf borers bore holes in the leaves of plants, thereby reducing the surface area of the leaves for the manufacture of carbohydrates. Birds are important pests of cereal crops and fruit trees because they cause serious losses to maize. Because the reason being that they cause serious losses in that the fruits or the produce of such plants are being reduced drastically. Rodents such as rats do a lot of damage to crops, especially rice and newly transplanted oil palms. That is, your oil palms, they just go on the field and start cutting it off. And when the farmer gets to the field, you see, oh, where are the oil palms that are transplanted yesterday? Lo and behold, the rodents have destroyed them. And not only oil palm, they also destroys, just like now, maybe you plant your maize and it is still in its early stage, it is still tender. Rodents can just invade such a farm and then destroy the whole maize that you've planted. So they are pests. They can be categorized as pests. Now we have predators, which is the third biotic factor that we'll be looking at. These are a group of organisms involved in the regulation of population of other organisms in the ecological system. The predators are larger than their prey, which they kill for food. Just like we have lion, the relationship between lion and a goat or rodents. The lion, which is bigger than the rodent, maybe the rat, or will kill the rat for food. There are carnivores that kill and eat herbivores that destroy the crops in the field or in the store. Insect predators are useful in pest control in that they reduce the population of the pests. Examples of predators are birds, hawks. The hawks and the birds eat all these insects, while carnivores like lion, tiger, leopard feast on these lower rodents that actually disturb the crops being planted on the field. Then the fourth biotic factor we'll be looking at is soil microorganisms. These are microscopic animals living in the soil, such as earthworm. They are sometimes not only microscopic, we can still see them with our eyes. such as we have earthworm, termites, bacteria, and fungi. The bacteria and fungi could be characterized as or classified as microscopic, while the earthworm and the termite can be classified as a macroscopic organism. They are made of both plants and animals representatives. The soil microorganisms are important in enhancing the fertility of the soil. Soil bacteria assist in the process of decomposition of organic matter. Microorganisms are of great importance in the chemical changes that take place in the nitrogen and carbon cycle. That is, in the nitrogen and carbon cycle, in the replacement and then the usage of nitrogen and carbon in the soil, or for plant use, microorganisms such as bacteria are of great importance. Also, the burrowing activities of microorganisms such as the earthworm enhances the aeration of movement of water and air in the soil. Now, the next one we're looking at is disease. Disease is a situation whereby living organisms exhibit a malformation or malfunction. Crops can be affected by disease at any stage of their growth. This prevents them from growing normally and thereby resulting in poor yield. In severe cases of diseases, infected crop plants may die before they mature. Plant disease attack all parts of the plant. That is, it can affect the leaf, it can affect the stem, and it can also affect the roots. Examples of disease are bacterial blight of cassava, cassava mosaic, and then so on. And just the recent one that affects tomato, which is tomato Ebola, is another form of disease. Now we're looking at weed. Weed are unwanted plants found on a piece of land. That is, plants that you find alongside with the plants which you planted. The plants that you didn't plant on the field, they found on a portion of land. They compete with crops for space, water, and nutrients, and sunlight, thereby reducing the available space, water, nutrients, and sunlight that's all to be available for the crops being planted. Weeds have the potential of harboring disease and pests, thus they reduce the yield of crops. Now we'll be looking at the interrelationship among living things. The interrelationship among living things are the following. The first one we're looking at is competition. Competition is the interactions among two or more organisms of the same or different species, in which one outgrows the other and survives, while the other may die or survive in such a way that it won't live up to its optimal performance. That is, one survives optimally while the other does not survive optimally or may not survive at all. Living things compete for limited environmental resources such as space, food, water, nutrients, light, and light. During this competition, one organism has a higher access to these limited environmental resources, while the other has little or none for its survival. When the competition is between members of the same species, it is called intraspecies competition, while it is called interspecies competition when it is between members of different species. The next interrelationship among living organisms is parasitism. Parasitism is an interaction between two organisms in which one of the organisms, which is called the parasite, lives in or on the body of the other, which is the host. It does not only live on it, in or on it, it feeds and derives benefits and also cause harm to the host, while the host does not benefit and does not benefit at all, and also loses in the process. That is, the host won't benefit from the parasite, and it will also lose in the process of the interaction. The parasite benefits from the association or interaction, while the host suffers harm or may die in the course of the interaction. For example, man and tapeworm, dogs and ticks, poultry birds and lice. Then the next interaction we're looking at is symbiosis or mutualism. From the word mutual, that is equal interaction. Symbiosis is an interaction between two organisms in which both organisms benefit from each other. Symbiosis is a mutual and beneficial association, and the members are called symbionts. For example, bacteria in the rumen of ruminants. The first one is bacteria in the rumen of ruminants. Bacteria help the ruminants to digest cellulose to sugars, synthesize amino acids and vitamins from other substances, while the ruminants in turn provides food and shelter for the bacteria. That is, they are both useful to the other. The ruminants provides food and shelter for the bacteria, while the bacteria also helps the ruminant in synthesizing amino acids and vitamins from food substances, and also help them in digesting cellulose to sugars. Then the next example is flowers and insects. The insect obtains food in the form of pollen grains and nectars, while in return the insect brings about cross-pollination in the plant, thereby enabling the plant to reproduce sexually. Then the next interaction we're looking at is commensalism. Commensalism is an interaction between two organisms living together in which only one of the organisms, known as the commensal, benefits from the association or interaction, while the other neither benefits nor gets harmed from the interaction. For example, shark and the remora fish. The remora fish attach